Bob Marley may have left this world in 1981, but his legacy didn't die. It multiplied. With 11 acknowledged children carrying his name, the Marley dynasty has become a force of music, activism, and business. From Ziggy keeping the reggae flame alive, to Damien blending hip-hop with roots, and others branching into fashion, sports, and philanthropy, the Marley children continue to shape culture in 2025. But where exactly are they now? And how are they honoring their father's legend? Stephanie Marley. Stephanie Marley was kid of Rita Marley and a man named Idol, and she was later adopted by Bob Marley, becoming an integral part of the Marley family. Raised in a household deeply infused with music, spirituality, and social consciousness, Stephanie grew up surrounded by the ethos of her parents: kindness, creativity, and a dedication to community. This upbringing shaped not only her worldview, but also her professional path, which has blended education, design, and philanthropy. In the late 1990s, Stephanie pursued higher education at the University of Western Ontario in Canada, where she earned a bachelor's degree in psychology. Her studies reflected a genuine interest in understanding people and the human mind, a foundation that would later inform her approach to business, community work, and mentoring young talent. Approximately a decade later, Stephanie turned her creativity toward hospitality and design, helping to open the Marley Resort and Spa in Nassau, Bahamas. Alongside her sister, Cedella Marley, she oversaw the interiors of the hotel, creating a space that reflected the Marley legacy: warm, inviting, and infused with cultural authenticity. The project allowed her to merge aesthetics with storytelling, giving guests an immersive experience of the Marley ethos while honoring her family's Jamaican heritage. Stephanie has also demonstrated a strong entrepreneurial spirit. In 2013, she launched a modeling and talent agency called Bunique, pronounced Be Unique, which focused on nurturing emerging talent while remaining rooted in family and community. The agency represented several of her nieces and nephews, including Kaimani's children Christian and Mana, Ziggy's daughter Zuri, and Stephen's children Stefan and Summer, giving them guidance and opportunities in the entertainment and creative industries. This effort reflects Stephanie's commitment to mentorship and her belief in cultivating the next generation of talent, particularly within the Marley family. Her dedication to philanthropy and social impact has also been significant. Stephanie has served as director of the Rita Marley Foundation, continuing her years of work with her father's organizations and expanding their reach. Speaking at her alma mater in 2015, she reflected on the ethos instilled by her parents. "It's a way of life. That's the way we were raised. I strongly believe the fame my parents earned, the success they have achieved, is because they're gifted with kindness. I think Bob's true purpose was all the work, all his music, for him to achieve that level. With what his legacy has left behind, we are able to help so many people." Her words underscore her belief that the Marley legacy is not just about fame or artistry, but about the tangible impact one can have on communities and individuals around the world. David Nesta, Ziggy Marley. David Nesta, Ziggy Marley, is perhaps the best known of Bob and Rita Marley's children. Growing up in the heart of the reggae movement, Ziggy was immersed in music from an early age. By the time he was 10, he was already sitting in on Bob Marley and the Wailers' recording sessions, watching his father shape songs that would change the world. That early exposure gave him not just technical knowledge, but also a spiritual connection to music as a way of life. In 1979, Ziggy joined his siblings Sharon, Cedella, and Stephen to form Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers. Their very first track, Children Playing in the Streets, was written by Bob himself and released the same year. True to their father's humanitarian vision, the group donated all royalties from the song to the United Nations during the International Year of the Child. Looking back, Ziggy told Rolling Stone, "My father was the one who got us into music. He wrote the first song we ever sang. He was in the studio laying down guitars, and our first concert was one we performed on with him." When Bob died in 1981, Ziggy was only 12. The loss was profound, but he carried with him his father's last words. On your way up, take me up. On your way down, don't let me down. Decades later, in a 2024 interview with People, Ziggy reflected on those words. A father-son relationship is very deep, and it's a spiritual thing also. We share a spiritual foundation, my father, myself, my brothers and sisters. That word means exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing. With their father's inspiration, the Melody Makers began performing across Jamaica by 1984. Their second album, Play the Game Right, 1985, marked their emergence as a serious force in reggae. Over the next 17 years, they released a string of successful albums, earned 8 Grammy nominations, and won 3 Grammys before disbanding in 2002. Their blend of roots reggae with pop and world music made them internationally popular and secured their place in reggae history. Ziggy seamlessly transitioned into a solo career, debuting with Dragonfly in 2003. His 2006 album, Love Is My Religion, won a Grammy and showcased his to fuse spirituality and social consciousness into accessible reggae. In 2010, he demonstrated his versatility by winning another Grammy, this time for Best Musical Album for Children with Family Time, which featured collaborations with family members, Willie Nelson, Paul Simon, and Jack Johnson. To date, Ziggy has won 8 Grammy Awards from 15 nominations, underscoring his lasting influence as a solo artist. Family has always remained central to Ziggy's life. He lives in Los Angeles with his wife, Orlia Guy, and their 4 children, daughter Judah Victoria and sons Gideon, Abraham Selassie, and Isaiah Sion. From previous relationships, he is also father to Bambaataa, Justice, and Zuri. Despite his global success, Ziggy is deeply grounded in his Jamaican roots and credits his strength to his mother. My mom is the backbone of everything, he told People in 2024. Without her, none of this would have been happening. My father's career wouldn't be what it is. Robert "Robbie" Marley. Unlike many of his siblings who embraced the spotlight through music, business, or advocacy, Robbie has chosen to live a life largely outside of public attention. While the Marley surname carries immense global recognition, Robbie has preferred to maintain privacy, quietly preserving his connection to his father's legacy without seeking fame. Robbie has offered only rare glimpses into his personal experiences as Bob Marley's son. In a 2012 interview with Collider, he reflected on his father with warmth and respect, painting a portrait that revealed the man behind the legend. Robbie described Bob as quiet, patient, strict, qualities that often surprised those who only knew him as a global music icon. For Robbie, Bob was far more than a superstar. He was a teacher and a father, not just to us, but to all, Robbie explained, emphasizing how Bob's lessons went beyond music into life itself. When asked about what it meant to grow up as Bob Marley's son, Robbie responded with humility and gratitude. It benefits. There's no negative in that, he said, acknowledging that his father's reputation and influence brought blessings rather than burdens. Many children of famous parents have spoken about the pressure of living up to a legacy, but Robbie instead viewed it as a gift, a foundation to carry with pride, not a shadow to escape. That same year, Robbie also revealed that his favorite song of his father's vast catalog was Redemption Song. The choice was telling. Stripped of heavy instrumentation, the song is one of Bob Marley's most introspective works, a call for freedom, resilience, and self-liberation. Robbie's connection to it suggests an appreciation for the depth of his father's artistry and the timeless messages woven into his lyrics. Unlike some of his siblings who took center stage in carrying forward Bob's musical and cultural torch, Robbie has remained mostly behind the scenes. There are no records of him pursuing a music career or stepping into public roles tied to the Marley brand. Instead, his path reflects a quieter, more personal way of honoring his heritage. His rare interviews highlight his perspective as someone who values the essence of Bob Marley the man, the father, the teacher, the guide, just as much as Bob Marley, the revolutionary musician. Rohan Anthony Marley. Growing up as one of Bob's many children, Rohan inherited not just his father's name, but also a drive to carve out his own path. Unlike many of his siblings who leaned toward music and creative arts, Rohan pursued athletics first. He attended the University of Miami, where he played college football alongside future legends Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Ray Lewis. His physical talent and discipline carried him into professional sports, where he briefly played in the Canadian Football League with the Ottawa Rough Riders. Though football provided him with structure and camaraderie, Rohan eventually shifted his focus toward entrepreneurship. In 2009, he founded Marley Coffee, an organic farming business rooted in sustainability and ethical trade. His vision was not only to produce high-quality coffee, but also to honor his father's commitment to social responsibility by supporting farming communities and environmentally conscious practices. 2 years later, he expanded into consumer products, launching House of Marley, a line of eco-friendly headphones, speakers, and audio equipment. The brand blended cutting-edge sound technology with sustainable materials like bamboo and recycled plastics, proving that business could succeed while caring for the planet. Rohan's personal life has been as dynamic as his professional ventures. His first marriage was to Geraldine Cawley, with whom he welcomed 2 children, Nicholas "Nico" Marley, who went on to play as an NFL linebacker, and daughter Eden. From 1996 to 2009, Rohan was in a long-term relationship with singer Lauryn Hill, and together they raised 5 children: Zion David, Selah Louise, Joshua Omaru, John Nesta, and Sarah. His family life continued to grow when, in 2019, he married Brazilian model Barbara Fialho, and the couple welcomed a daughter, expanding the Marley legacy into yet another generation. Rohan has often spoken about how his father's values guide him. In a 2014 interview with Rolling Stone, he explained that Bob instilled in him a sense of duty. "You don't want to do things just for you. My father did not do that. If it's positive, we can do it. When you have more, you can do more. That's sustainability. That's my father. There's no limitations. When I stop, it should be greater than I. The ones that come after, I should be greater than I." In 2023, Rohan entered a new industry with the launch of Lion Order, a cannabis lifestyle brand that merges wellness with Rastafarian culture. Speaking to people about his venture, he addressed critics who labeled him a Nepo baby. His response was firm. "It don't work like that. You really have to take on to a teaching, take on to responsibility. It's not like just because my dad is Bob, that's why I am this way. No, no, no." For Rohan, success has come not from riding on his father's fame, but from living out the values of discipline, vision, and responsibility. Damian Robert Nesta Marley, 47, Damian Robert Nesta Jr. Gong Marley was born on July 21, 1978, to Bob Marley and jazz singer Cindy Breakspear, inheriting a musical legacy that would shape his life from the earliest days. His nickname, Junior Gong, is a nod to Bob's own moniker, Tough Gong, reflecting the continuity of a family deeply rooted in reggae and Jamaican culture. Damian's early exposure to music came naturally, growing up surrounded by rhythms, lyrics, and the social consciousness that defined his father's work. By the age of 13, he was already pursuing music professionally, forming a band called The Shepherds. Though the group eventually disbanded, it set the stage for Damian's lifelong commitment to musical creation. In 1996, Damian released his debut solo album, Mr. Marley, on the family's iconic Tough Gong label, with co-production from his older brother Stephen Marley. The album allowed Damian to begin defining his own style, blending traditional reggae with contemporary influences and lyrical depth that reflected both his personal experiences and his heritage. His follow-up, 2001's Halfway Tree, again co-produced by Steven, solidified his reputation as a formidable reggae artist. The album earned the Grammy Award for Best Reggae Album in 2002, the same year his half-brother Kai Mani Marley received a nomination for Many More Roads, highlighting a moment of family achievement on the global stage. Damien made history at the 2006 Grammy Awards, becoming the first reggae artist to win 2 Grammys in a single ceremony. He took home Best Reggae Album for Welcome to Jamrock and Best Urban Alternative Performance for the album's title track, a landmark achievement that demonstrated his ability to transcend genre boundaries while maintaining his reggae roots. His music, often socially conscious and politically aware, blends dancehall energy with lyrical sophistication, resonating with audiences worldwide. Beyond his own albums, Damien has collaborated with high-profile artists across genres. He contributed to Cruise Control by Mariah Carey, Bam by Jay-Z, Liquor Store Blues by Bruno Mars, and Now That You Got It by Gwen Stefani, showcasing his versatility and global appeal. In 2010, Damien released the collaborative album Distant Relatives with hip-hop legend Nas, a project that fused reggae, hip-hop, and African-inspired rhythms while exploring themes of heritage, unity, and social consciousness. Damien continued to build his solo career with 2016's Stony Hill, an album that won Best Reggae Album at the 2017 Grammys, reaffirming his status as one of the leading contemporary reggae artists. Across his career, Damien has earned recognition not only for his vocal and instrumental talents, but also for his songwriting, production skills, and to honor his father's legacy while creating music that is distinctly his own. Cedella Marley. As the firstborn of Bob's biological children, Cedella grew up surrounded by the rhythms and messages of reggae, and she carried forward her family's artistic spirit from a young age. Alongside her siblings, she became a founding member of Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers, where she sang, wrote songs, and toured the world. The group blended reggae with pop and global influences, released 10 albums, and won multiple Grammy Awards, giving Cedella an international platform and cementing her as both a performer and a cultural ambassador. While her music career was central, Cedella was never limited to one artistic path. She transitioned into acting, appearing in films such as 1989's The Mighty Quinn with Denzel Washington and 1993's Joey Breaker. These roles allowed her to explore storytelling beyond music and demonstrate her versatility as an artist. After the Melody Makers disbanded in 2002, Cedella turned toward leadership and entrepreneurship. She became CEO of Tough Gong International, the record label her father founded, ensuring that Bob Marley's music and legacy continued to reach new generations. At the same time, she pursued her passion for fashion design, launching clothing lines that reflected her Jamaican roots and global outlook. Her biggest fashion breakthrough came in 2012 when she partnered with Puma to design Jamaica's track and field uniforms for the London Olympics. The sleek, bold outfits became iconic, especially as they were worn by Usain Bolt and his teammates. Cedella later recalled telling Bolt, "It's the first time Dad is actually going to the Olympics, and you're going to be wearing him on your shoulder." She also created Olympic-inspired designs for fans, merging sports, culture, and fashion in a way that honored her father's legacy while pushing Jamaica's image onto the world stage. Cedella's impact on sports did not end there. In 2014, she made headlines when she stepped in to rescue Jamaica's women's national soccer team, the Reggae Girls, from financial collapse. Through the Bob Marley Foundation, she raised funds and became their global ambassador. Although the team faced setbacks and disbanded again, Cedella revived them in 2016. Her persistence paid off in 2019 when the Reggae Girls became the first Caribbean women's team to qualify for the FIFA Women's World Cup. Speaking to ESPN, she emphasized the importance of opportunity and equity. "It's a choice that the girls have made to play, and we should give them an even field to go out and kick the ball. Football is freedom. Much like her father, Sedella has proven herself to be business-savvy and visionary. In a 2014 Rolling Stone interview, she pointed out how Bob Marley owned his own label, pressing plants and merchandise long before it was common. He was the first one to design and wear a Bob Marley t-shirt. He was very savvy. He believed in owning everything that could make him succeed in whatever it was he was doing. Sedella's own career reflects that same spirit of ownership and innovation, whether through music, film, fashion, or sports advocacy. In her personal life, Sedella found stability and love. She married David Minto in 1993, and together they raised 2 sons, Skip and Soul Rebel. Both boys have inherited the family's musical talents, with Skip in particular gaining recognition as a rising reggae artist, carrying the Marley torch into a new era. Karen Marley. Karen Marley spent much of her childhood in Jamaica, initially raised by her great-grandparents, who provided stability and guidance while instilling in her the values of family, heritage, and cultural pride. Later, she was brought into the care of Rita Marley, whom Karen has described as one of her maternal figures, growing up under the influence of both her father's legacy and the strong, nurturing presence of Rita. Karen developed a unique perspective on family, responsibility, and creativity. Despite her famous surname, Karen has largely kept a low public profile, choosing a life away from the spotlight that engulfed many of her siblings. She is a fashion designer, but she has always preferred to work quietly behind the scenes rather than be recognized solely as Bob Marley's daughter. In a 2014 interview with Rolling Stone, she reflected on the challenges of carrying such a well-known name. "Sometimes when I speak about my dad, it is a little touchy for me. I wanted to just live without someone going, 'Oh, there's Karen Marley.' I have to put my name out there because I opened a business. I'm not a musician. I like to be a little bit under the radar." Karen's passion for design and sustainability eventually led her to launch her eco-friendly fashion brand, By Karen Marley, which officially debuted on International Women's Day in March 2022. The brand reflects her personal style and her values, emphasizing eco-conscious materials, timeless silhouettes, and a relaxed yet refined aesthetic. Karen explained to Shondaland.com that her inspiration comes from both her family and her heritage. "My father cared deeply for our planet, the people and everything else within it. His sense of style was relaxed and laid back, and in essence, the origin for my easy, conscious style. By blending environmental responsibility with a minimalist, effortless aesthetic, Karen has translated her father's ethos into fashion that is both meaningful and wearable. Through her work, Karen honors the Marley legacy in her own distinct way. Unlike her siblings, many of whom pursued music or public-facing careers, she channels her creativity into entrepreneurship and design, striving to make a positive impact on the world while remaining grounded. Her choice to stay under the radar reflects a thoughtful approach to fame. She carries the Marley name with pride, but on her own terms, balancing respect for her father's monumental influence with the desire to define her own identity. Julian Ricardo Marley. Growing up, Julian split his childhood between the United Kingdom and Jamaica, absorbing the rich cultural influences of both places. This dual upbringing provided him with a unique perspective on music and identity, allowing him to blend the traditions of reggae with global sounds. Despite being born into one of the most legendary musical families in history, Julian carved his own path, focusing on learning, experimenting, and creating music in his own way. A largely self-taught musician, Julian mastered instruments including the guitar, bass, keyboard, and drums, demonstrating a natural aptitude for music that complemented his heritage. He credits his partly British upbringing for broadening his artistic horizons. Speaking to 247 magazine ahead of his 2010 UK tour, Julian reflected, "I feel privileged to be part of the musical roots that my father laid in England. I look forward to relating the cultural gifts and musical creations that he has bestowed on me." This connection to his father's early influence in England allowed Julian to embrace both his Marley legacy and his own identity as a musician, shaping his career on his own terms. Julian released his debut album in 1996, marking the start of a professional music career that would span decades. Over the years, he has released multiple albums, blending classic reggae rhythms with socially conscious lyrics, reflecting themes of spirituality, love, and social justice. While many children of iconic musicians face intense pressure to match or exceed their parents' fame, Julian has approached his career with a sense of purpose and personal mission. In a 2020 interview with The Guardian Nigeria, he explained, "You can't do twice as much. You have to do what you can do. You have to do what you are supposed to do, because everyone has a mission. Everyone has something to do." This philosophy has guided Julian's career, allowing him to develop a sound that is distinctly his own while still honoring the Marley legacy. Julian's dedication and talent have been recognized on the world stage. In 2024, he earned his first Grammy Award for Best Reggae Album, a milestone that affirmed his artistry and perseverance. Prior to this win, he had also received 2 Grammy nominations, signaling consistent recognition from the music industry for his contributions to reggae and global music culture. Beyond accolades, Julian Marley is known for his commitment to spirituality and social consciousness, continuing the principles that his father championed. He often weaves messages of unity, positivity, and cultural pride into his music, striving to inspire audiences and connect with listeners on a deeper level. Whether performing in Jamaica, the UK, or internationally, Julian carries forward the Marley legacy in a way that is thoughtful, authentic, and uniquely his own. Sharon Marley. When Bob Marley married Rita in 1966, he not only embraced a lifelong partner, but also stepped into the role of a father to her young daughter, Sharon Marley, who had been born on November 23, 1964. Bob formally adopted Sharon, and she grew up as a full member of the Marley family, immersed in the music, spirituality, and sense of mission that defined their household. By the time she was 12, Sharon had already discovered her own creative voice and began actively pursuing music, which became a central force in her life. In 1979, Sharon joined 3 of her siblings, Ziggy, Cedella, and Stephen, in forming the band Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers. What began as a youthful project soon grew into one of the most successful reggae groups of its era. Over the course of 2 decades, the band toured internationally, delivering energetic performances that carried the spirit of their father's legacy while forging a distinct identity of their own. They recorded 10 albums, including celebrated works such as Conscious Party and One Bright Day, both of which earned Grammy Awards. The Melody Makers' sound combined reggae roots with pop and rock elements, broadening their reach across global audiences. Sharon, with her strong stage presence and harmonies, became an integral part of the group's success, performing in front of sold-out crowds and carrying Jamaican music to new corners of the world. Beyond the spotlight, Sharon also contributed behind the scenes. She played a role in the family's record label, Ghetto Youth United, supporting the creative projects of her brothers and helping the Marley name continue to thrive in modern reggae and beyond. Her involvement reflected her ability to balance artistry with business, making her a vital presence in the Marley family's broader cultural impact. Yet Sharon's life has never been confined solely to music. She has always been passionate about education and caregiving, 2 areas where she has left a lasting mark. She founded the Total Care Learning Center, an institution shaped by her advocacy for Montessori-style teaching, which emphasizes independence, creativity, and hands-on learning. Her vision has been to nurture young minds not just academically but holistically, empowering children to discover their strengths in a supportive environment. Her commitment to caregiving extends deeply into her personal life as well. Sharon is a devoted mother of 4 children, Donisha, Inglemar, Matthew, and Peter Shane. Balancing her career in music, education, and advocacy with motherhood, has been at the heart of her journey. Through her children, Sharon has carried forward the Marley legacy of resilience, creativity, and service to others, while ensuring they grew up grounded in the values of love, family, and cultural pride. Ky-Mani Marley. Though he was born in Jamaica, Ky-Mani spent much of his childhood in Miami, where he was raised amidst a mix of Caribbean and American influences. He was only 5 years old when his father passed away from cancer in 1981, an event that left an indelible mark on him. Reflecting on those early memories in a 2022 interview with the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Ky-Mani recalled, "I have one memory of my father just being in the countryside, with him and my older brother Stephen. I keep that memory very dear to my heart." That early connection to Bob, brief as it was, inspired much of Ky-Mani's musical journey, most notably his heartfelt song, "Dear Dad," which captures the longing and reflection of a son who never fully knew his father. Lyrics like, "Dear Dad, I really didn't get to know you. Sometimes I sit and wonder and it makes me blue. But there is one memory that stays on the back of my mind, and this memory got me thinking about you all the time," resonate deeply with fans who relate to themes of love, loss, and legacy. While music would eventually become his calling, Ky-Mani initially focused on sports during his formative years. Excelling in soccer and football, he competed at a high level, demonstrating athleticism, discipline, and competitiveness that mirrored the drive he later brought to his music career. Yet the pull of music proved irresistible. During his teenage years, a Jamaican producer who had previously worked with his father noticed Ky-Mani's talent and encouraged him to pursue recording. In 1996, Ky-Mani released his debut album, Like Father, Like Son, a project that paid homage to Bob Marley while establishing Ky-Mani as a musician with his own identity. Over the years, he has continued to explore reggae while infusing it with hip-hop, R&B, and dancehall influences, carving out a unique sound within the genre. His album, Many More Roads, earned a Grammy nomination, cementing his reputation as a serious artist in his own right. Ky-Mani's music often reflects personal themes, blending his experiences growing up in Miami with his Jamaican roots and the indelible influence of his father's legacy. Beyond music, Ky-Mani has pursued acting, appearing in films such as One Love and Shottas, and in the 2016 Nick Cannon movie, King of the Dance Hall. These roles have allowed him to explore storytelling and performance in different ways, further broadening his creative portfolio. Despite the inevitable comparisons to his father, Ky-Mani has approached his career with humility and focus, emphasizing personal growth, artistic authenticity, and the desire to honor Bob Marley's enduring legacy without being overshadowed by it. Stephen Robert Nesta Marley. From an early age, Stephen was steeped in music, absorbing the rhythms, lyrics, and spiritual messages that would define his father's career. At just 7 years old, he joined his siblings in Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers, becoming the group's primary instrumentalist. While he occasionally lent his voice to songs, Stephen's early contributions were defined by his mastery of instruments and his ability to inject dancehall-infused energy into the Melody Makers' reggae-pop fusion, helping to give the group a distinctive sound. As the Melody Makers grew in prominence, Stephen honed his skills not just as a performer, but as a producer, carrying forward his father's vision through a new lens. In 1999, he produced Chant Down Babylon, a remix and reinterpretation of Bob Marley classics, which included the hit Turn Your Lights Down Low featuring Lauryn Hill. The album showcased Stephen's ability to merge contemporary sounds with his father's timeless reggae, bridging generations of listeners. Over 2 decades later, in 2022, he applied the same producing expertise to Celebrating Nina, a reggae tribute to Nina Simone, a tribute album featuring his sister Cedella and a collection of other celebrated artists, further cementing his reputation as a skilled curator and innovator within reggae and beyond. Stephen Marley's contributions have not gone unrecognized. Like his brother Ziggy, he has won multiple awards, including 8 Grammys from 11 nominations, honoring both his work as a solo artist and as a producer. His music has consistently carried forward his father's legacy while establishing his own unique voice, blending traditional reggae rhythms with modern influences and socially conscious themes. Family has always been central to Stephen's life. He has fathered multiple children with different women, nurturing them while balancing his prolific musical career. However, 2022 brought profound sorrow. Stephen's 31-year-old son, Joseph "Joe" Mersa Marley, who had also pursued music, passed away unexpectedly. The loss was devastating, yet it reinforced Stephen's commitment to family and the enduring power of music. That same year, speaking to people, he reflected on the impact of his father's legacy. "My father's music was his greatest gift as an artist. It has always and will continue to bring many people together from around the globe and from all walks of life. The music and his words have remained relevant to the times in which we are living. He made timeless music and represented a way of life that has inspired people to be better, be stronger, and be more conscious." Stephen also emphasized the personal side of Bob Marley, describing him as a father whose influence extended far beyond music. "My father was a superhero dad. He could be mild-mannered one minute and the next minute, he's off saving the world. I try to honor him every day." Stephen's own life and career reflect that ethos, a blend of artistry, leadership, and social responsibility, ensuring that Bob Marley's message of unity, love, and consciousness continues to resonate across generations. What do you think about the current lives of Bob Marley's children? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.